title of my talk today is What If? And it was inspired by a poem that I read. And so I went through a series of just what ifs. I will open, first of all, though, with a passage from Scripture. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. I felt led to do so today. So the Scripture is from Romans 23, verses 8 through 10. Owe no one anything except to love each other. For the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. For the commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet, and any other commandment summed up in the word, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor, therefore, love is fulfilling the law. So in my thinking of what ifs, the first one that came to mind is, what if there's peace on earth? With all of what we see in our outward world, it does not seem outwardly that this can be fulfilled. And yet, if we take a moment and just ask the question, what if? And when we look at the world outside of us, shift that focus for just a moment to what if that peace that I seek in the world is within me. And yes, there is a part of each and every one of us that has that peace. And with Trisha's meditation, it takes me right back to the soul star, which as I said was a perfect lead-in to what I was talking about today. We cannot manipulate peace in the world until we find peace within ourselves. We cannot force it through violence or force. It has to be expressed within us as a daily, hourly, moment by moment act in our own lives. And I think we just celebrated Martin Luther King Day, and I think about King and Gandhi. Peace in the world is not passive, and yet it cannot be activated through violence. Gandhi and Martin Luther King both knew this and understood this. Where is my peace? It has to be found first within me, and then expanded into the collective. What if there is healing on earth? Another one of my what ifs. The healing of the earth and the energies that are unhealthy must first be healed within our own being. The healing of the one is the healing of the whole. And it goes out like a ripple effect, touching the one that sits next to you or the person that you casually meet along your path. But it has to first be apart and found and held within our own being, within our own soul, and within the acceptance that there is a part of us that's healed and whole, and it's already done. It's done. It's within us. And we just have to tap into it. What if there is acceptance and openness to all peoples? And that too begins with us. We have to accept and open to our own wholeness and our own well-being. And we have to begin to allow and open to something that I hear, especially in our chapel family, all the time. We are one. We are one. We are one. It is not, again, something that is passive. It is something that we must learn to express and be, and let that move from the place of wholeness within us. I look at the world and I'm so fascinated by the children. They teach us if we just stop and just watch them. They don't see race and color. All they see is the love. That's my friend. That's somebody even that I aspire to be. I think of one of those stories that I saw about or read about the little girl who was getting a reward. And I may not have all of the details of the story for something that she had done. She was being potty trained. So her mother was taking her to the store to get a reward, a toy. And so she picked up, and this happened to have been a white little child, and she picked up a doll. That was a black doll. And the cashier began to question the little girl, saying, that's not the doll for you, and giving her all of the reasons. And the child said to her, I picked her because she's like me. She's a doctor, and I want to be a doctor. She had no concept of the divisiveness that was being taught to her in that moment. But she was wise enough to know the true meaning of unity. What if truth and integrity prevails on earth? We have to be honest and open and be willing to be bold in it as well. And we have to be discerning when we hear messages that may not be from a point of truth, but from a point of manipulation and wanting something. And so facts are changed and shifted. A quote by Frederick Douglass: the life of the nation is secure only while the nation is honest, truthful, and virtuous. And we must maintain that within ourselves as well. Be honest, truthful, and virtuous in all of our actions. What if? Just as I began, what if we love our neighbor as ourselves? We become more empathic, more caring, more open, more supportive. When we look at our own lives, we have aspirations for ourselves. And those aspirations that we have for ourselves should be an aspiration that we would hold for the hold for the whole. What is it that I would want in my life? Ask yourselves. And wish no less for that of your neighbor or your family member or another nation or a country. Wish no less. And Jeff's message last week, he gave us an exercise to practice until he spoke again. To sit with the divine within. And he may not use those exact words, but and to tap into an energy It's already there. It's always been there. And we have direct access. And when we sit and tap into that energy of the divine within, there is no greater authority. Whether it be leader of a nation, leader of a country, leader of a church, leader of anything, there is no greater authority than the divine that already exists within us. It is but for us to tap into that. It is the source of our power. This is the path to peace and unity on earth. This is our truth and our integrity. This is the source of acceptance of all peoples. This is the worth of us. This is the love of us. And I will close with the poem that led me to What If and this lecture today, or this teaching today. And the poem is just that, What If, by Ganja White. And I don't remember this, so I'll have to read it. What if? What if our religion was each other? If our practice was our life? If prayer was our words? What if the temple was the earth? If forests were our church? If holy water, the rivers, the lakes, and oceans? What if meditation was our relationships? If the teacher was life? If wisdom was self-knowledge? If love was the center of our being? And I leave you with that. God bless.